Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome back or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in my videos or on my live feeds, simply take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. Happy Saturday, happy Canada Day, and happy 4th of July long weekend for all of our American friends out there. It is a glorious weekend. I'm really grateful to have some downtime. I've spent quite a bit of time with spirit this morning. I don't usually come on Saturdays, but yesterday my work schedule got away from me, so I wasn't able to come on. So I thought I would come on Saturday. It's what 10:47 Eastern time. See who's around. See if we just want to chit chat. I'm going to leave the platform open. I am going to talk a little bit about what spirit's kind of been whispering in my ear lately because I've had some really interesting stuff come up from spirit. A lot more of really pushing us to really embrace this oneness with community and to be able to tap into each other and to be able to help and support each other. I'm feeling a lot of momentum for that coming. I just feel like we're just going to kind of need each other. It doesn't feel terrible. It just feels that support and oneness and coming together and leading by example with that oneness. I think the volume of that's going to be turned up. And I'm feeling a big push over into late fall with some of the stuff that's coming up for me with spirit. So in the meantime, lean in there and just kind of ask for support when you need it. Offer support to those around you, even if it's just like one kind word, and just being able to kind of lean in there. I feel that a lot of us are looking for connection. I feel like we're being pushed a little bit into that. And I think that there's going to be a lot of blending coming up with people. Like, let's just blend and help and support and be there for one another. Let's chit chat. So that was a really good time. I don't do this very often, but let's leave this wide open as an Ask the Medium session or just spiritual chit chat. If there's a topic that you want to throw out and discuss together, and you're welcome to chime in as well. This is your YouTube channel, so you're all welcome to support each other or to pipe in with comments or suggestions. I always encourage that here. We all have great energy to share and do energy exchanges that way as well. So please know that you can do that amongst each other if you feel pulled to. So let me just kind of have a scroll up here. I'm going to try to get to as many questions as I can. And thank you so much for joining me. I wasn't sure if anybody would be around on a long weekend on a Saturday morning when the sun's out. So thank you very much for joining me here. So Shelby, in desperate need of guidance from spirit. I'm going to dive right into that, Shelby. And what I'm seeing is my sign for roll up your sleeves. So roll up your sleeves, and with me, what that means with spirit is that there's a little bit of work to do, both energetically and physical world stuff, and you are being supported and held up through that. So when I feel that, when I hear that from spirit, it's quite often you're in a space of uncertainty, those crossroads, perhaps feeling a little bit lack of support, or perhaps it's like a lack of understanding. I feel like you're going to navigate through this, and I've got to get you to stand in your truth. So whatever's going on, whatever your desires are, or whatever that you're navigating through, I need you to just kind of roll up your sleeves and stand in what you want and stand in that truth, Shelby. You are so guided and so supported. And I've said this before many times on the channel. The physical world can throw us some tough learning, and our spirit guides can't always take that learning away because they're not meant to. Some things we're meant to learn and navigate through, and just allowing that support to come in and coming around you is so important. I feel that for you very strongly here, Shelby. All right, so let's just scroll down. Mandy Greenhill, any message for me today? Happy Canada Day. Mandy, I feel a lot of lighter energy around you. I feel like you're lightening up. I just feel like lightening up is kind of how I feel. I feel like you've been kind of putting stuff down. It's almost like I can take stuff out of my spiritual backpack. That's the life stuff, the experiences and stuff that we navigate through. I feel like you've been kind of like taking that out, having a look. No, that doesn't really serve me anymore. And I think I've learned that lesson, and I think I'm okay with that now. And I feel you like kind of like tossing it out. I literally see it like a baseball pitch, throwing that away from your energy. I also feel, Mandy, though, a lot of new ideas. So, are you getting a lot of new ideas coming in? I feel like you're channeling like new ideas, new things to do, new experiences that you want to have. I also feel this, and so that's I feel like you need to write. So I feel like it might just be simply journaling, or it might be a book if you pull to that. But I see I've got to get you kind of moving that hand. I with writing, or this way, whatever resonates with you as far as writing goes. But I also feel, Mandy, I just feel that you have so much to give out energetically. And I don't know if you've been kind of sitting more with energy, or sitting more in meditation and kind of putting out more and more to the universe. But I see you expanding that. I see that kind of expanding with this whole sending out. So I'm not quite sure what exactly I'm seeing there, but it looks like you're sending out energy to the collective. So well done, you, Mandy. I also feel, Mandy, I feel like um I feel like I'm exploring. I feel like I'm exploring different pieces of myself, but also different pieces of areas around you. So I don't know if you've been kind of like day tripping it, or road tripping it, or just like going for a drive and parking the car and kind of looking at the scenery. But I feel like I'm exploring. And one thing with exploring is, sometimes we get that hesitant. I feel hesitant. I gotta push that. I just gotta push you through that, and I just gotta get you kind of like test tasting different things, because it's going to bring all this creative stuff. And it feels very much like new chapter, new chapter, new chapter. And what's really interesting is Spirit's on repeat with me right now. I have to say things a few times, and I'm not quite sure why I'm doing that, but it's like I have to kind of get that kind of momentum going, and it feels very, very, very good, Mandy. I feel the vibration of excitement and newness and unpacking, and I just feel like I'm so ready. I'm so ready. I'm so ready. There I go with the repeating. I'm not quite sure what that's about, Mandy. Maybe you're repeating things to yourself. I don't know, but I just feel that, and it feels quite good. Mila, do you feel like my cat has been reincarnated? How is it up in heaven? Is my cat sending me any messages? I don't feel a reincarnation has happened yet. That doesn't mean that the cat's not going to come back down. But I do feel the cat very much okay up in the spirit dimensions. But I also feel the cat around you a lot, and I keep feeling with this cat that, uh, with the energy here, it's about moving forward. And I keep feeling like I'm trying to lift off worry and lift off anxiety and I feel like the energy of the cat's trying to lift that off of you, if that makes sense to you. Very much around, very much around. And and I'll just kind of expand that a little bit. Our loved ones, whether it be our fur babies, or our friends, or our family that are up in the spirit dimensions, they're always around. They're always sending signs. They're always trying to support. They're always keeping a watchful eye. They're always around. Let me see here where I need to go. Ashley, Hylana, my boyfriend's mom passed away last year. Does she have any messages for him or I? Um, I see a lot of blooming. I see like I see like little sprouts coming up from a garden and blooming. I'm seeing like little flower buds blooming, and little bees coming into these new blossoms. I feel like there's been a lot of growth. She's shown me that there's been a lot of growth, even though there has been grief. I'm feeling a lot of growth, and she's really encouraging you to continue to water your garden. I love what she's showing me. I don't know if she was a big gardener or not, but this is how she's showing it to me. She showed me to continue to plant your seeds, and to continue to grow what you want in life, and to continue to blossom. The other thing that's really interesting is she keeps showing me the number 10, Ashley. So I don't know if October is a significant month, or the 10th of a month, but the number 10 she keeps showing me, and she's also showing me the month of July being significant, or the 7th of any month. She's drawn me a 7 as well, but she keeps showing me water your little garden. So I will leave that there with you. Sandy, I'm open to any messages for me. Sandy, I feel I'm not quite sure what, like, was there something significant? I keep going back to either 3 days ago or 3 weeks ago. I feel like a new spirit guide kind of popped in there, and I feel like a lot of, and it feels quite fun and funny. I'm trying to keep a straight face, because the spirit guide, it has a vibration of humor, and trying to make me laugh. But I feel like there's like a lightning, like a lighten up. I just got to kind of turn up the volume on that lighten up and that laughter. Sometimes we take things really, really, really serious, and some things are serious in life, but sometimes we do have to insert just that lighter energy. So I need to kind of get you kind of leaning into the vibration of fun and laughter, because I feel the spirit guide's going to be bringing you a lot of that. So don't be surprised if a lot of funny things that start occurring. Like I'm chuckling quite a bit. It's like I just feel like there's going to be some funny, some fun, some funny, and that's kind of where I'm at with that. And I just got to get you to lean in there a little bit more. It's like a Sandy. It's like I have to turn up the volume. So it's like I just have to turn it up. You have a good sense of humor, but now I have to turn that up a little bit, because I think things it's going to be all I can do is laugh that off. But it doesn't feel bad. It just feels like I got to get that laughter kind of moving. And when you think about it, laughing, because I'm just having a bit of an aha moment with this message. When you think about it, laughing, when you think about laughing, I'm seeing like vibration shaking, as I laugh. When you think about it, when you belly laugh, I mean, you kind of you kind of shake, don't you? When you laugh really hard, your whole body shakes. And what spirit is showing me is that changes vibration. I'm glad that I stuck with your spirit guide for a little bit to get a little bit deeper on what they were trying to show me. Is the laughter changes the vibration of things, and when you think about it, an energy. You guys all know me well enough to know now that energy is a big thing for me, and sometimes energy can be hard to move, and so and sometimes we get really caught up in that, round and around and around we go. But sometimes the best way to do that with the spirit guide. I love this new spirit guide, by the way, and what he's showing me is you will change things, either perspectives or energy around you, with this whole laughter, and really give it a good belly laugh. His name is Corey. Very, very easy, very simple name. They don't always have big complex names, but what he's saying is laugh. It'll shift a lot of vibes. So I hope that makes sense there for you, Miss Ria. Are there any messages for me? Thank you. Ria, as soon as I saw your name, I saw bare feet on the ground. I feel like I've got to kind of bring you into a little bit deeper of a grounding space. I feel you fairly grounded, but I feel like there's a deepening there. I feel like I just got to kind of like root you a little bit more and get you a little bit more grounded. So I don't know if sometimes you kind of like get shifted really quick with like, oh, that just knocked me out of alignment really quick. But I feel like if I can just get you kind of grounded a bit deeper, you'll have less of those like less of that. I call it like a knee jerk reaction, or less, or be affected a little less about some of the things that are going around. I also feel like I've got to really just kind of remind you to observe rather than absorb. So I don't know if you're a big empath or you're absorbing stuff that's not yours, but spirit's really pushing me into just kind of bringing that up, and just kind of just keep it in the back of your mind. It might not even make sense in this red hot moment, but it may make sense in an hour or a day or a week from now or a month from now. Is I just have to kind of get you just to keep yourself a little bit more grounded. Um, and I totally get that. I can't function if I haven't done my grounding. I am because I'm an empath, and because I've got so much stuff going on with the spirit dimensions. If I don't keep myself really grounded and work hard on that, I'm a red hot mess. And it's it's part of being human. We got to be able to keep ourselves grounded. So I really feel that's an important message for you, and I just got to kind of get you to remember to observe rather than to absorb, and get yourself grounded. It will really help. Grounding exercises literally changed my life. It changed how I respond. It changed how I work with spirit. Grounding has kept me in this space to be able to channel with spirit for hours without feeling tired or affected. It helps in so many different ways, and I feel that I really need that. Is it Salome? I hope I pronounced that right. My apologies if I have not. I would love a reading. I'm wondering if I will meet someone soon. I really lean in there with and it's just I feel like I've just got to kind of get you to enjoy where you're standing. I do feel like you're going to meet someone, but I feel like, and I can already hear you. I've been doing that, Lana. I've been doing that, Lana. I just have to get you just anchored in it a little bit more, and I also really have to turn up, and we all struggle with this, so this isn't just for you, this is for all of us, me included. Is I really have to get you a little bit closer with that authentic self piece of you. I just really need to get you to embrace all of you. So I don't know if and I kind of seeing it like in pat in cubes. So I don't know if you hold yourself, this is a good part of me. This is, I don't really like that part. I feel like I've got to get all of you into one package and embracing all of that because you have so much to give and such a brilliant bright light, but I need to kind of pull it all together. I hope that that makes sense to you. And I feel like you're a very authentic person. You're very much kind and loving, and I feel like I could sit with you and talk with you heart to heart. I really feel that there with you, and I feel you're really good at noticing other people's beautiful light. But I need to kind of get you to come back in and just kind of say, you know what, my light's brilliant too. My light's brilliant too, and I'm going to embrace that. It's not an ego thing, and I think sometimes in past spiritual teachers and leaders, there's a big difference between embracing ourselves and the ego. There's a big difference in that, and I think we're so afraid of leaning into that. What if it's ego? What if it's ego? What if it's ego? That it has separated us a little bit from being willing to acknowledge our own light. Loving ourselves is very different than being ego or being selfish. And it's just about being able to say, yeah, I'm that too. I can go first too. I just have to kind of remind you of that. I hope that that makes sense to you. um where did I leave off? Okay, Bethany, is do, is doing a split with my husband the right decision? Could use some advice on what to do, please. Okay, so Bethany, spirit will never ever say you must do this. Never. And if any medium or psychic kind of leans in there and says you have to, you kind of have to sit and reevaluate that. We have choice and free will, 100%. Now what spirit is saying though is I will share with you their advice because I keep getting sent home. When I get sent home, that means I've got to go back into my heart and take a look at my happiness and take a look at what I really want to do. Is leaving a relationship hard? Yes, it is. New beginnings are hard, but I feel a very strong pull from that heart space to navigate through what needs to change. And that's what your spirit guides are kind of pointing the direction at, is what needs to change in order for you to be happy again. And with that space, I think we all have that inner knowing. And if I ask you this question, I'm going to ask you a question because spirit just said ask her this. Do you feel the soul contract has expired? Because we can feel that. We have not our heads. If I said to all of you, did you know that relationship was over a year or two, like 5 years ago? Did you know? And most people will say, "Yeah, I knew. I didn't have the strength or the courage or the will, or I knew it wasn't my time to do it." Or do you feel no? There's still an extension of a soul contract here. What do you feel when I say that to you? Because we all connect. I've said this 1,000 times. We all connect to our higher self and to spirit. So when you sit with that, when you just kind of quiet your mind for a moment and ask yourself, "Is my soul contract with that person over?" And we have to be able to go into that space brutally open, like cracked wide open, to feel that, right? And then whatever the answer is, whether it's yeah, I feel that it's over, or no, I feel like it's not over, then you kind of look at what's preventing me from the change, right? Either working on the relationship or leaving the relationship. What's preventing us from that change? Quite often it's fear. We're afraid of the unknown. We're afraid of what ifs. The other piece is, and I have to say it, I wasn't going to in spirit. It's like loosening my tongue. I thank you guys. The spirit loosening my tongue up to say it. And this is collectively, it's for all of you. So not just for Salome, but we are not responsible for other people's behaviors, and we cannot fix people. We can help, we can support, we can offer, we can open the door, but we are not responsible and for the change that they have to make. And sometimes, and we all know this. Me myself, my first marriage, when it ended, I know I needed to go this way, and they needed to go this way, and it was because we had taken ourselves, to the extent of where the growth was meant to occur. I grew in a beautiful new direction, and so did he. Right. So it's about, sometimes it's about, we've come as far as we can, and we do have that knowledge within. So I do hope that makes sense to you. I do hope that that helps you. Um, I will move on to the next question here. Bethany is oh, sorry, that was for Bethany. My sorry, I got the names wrong there, Bethany. So I did answer that one. Whoops, my mouse got carried away there. Salome, that definitely makes sense. Thank you. You're very welcome. Um, I missed a few here. I'm trying to get to as many as I can, but I just kind of scrolled a little bit too fast. If you can just give me a moment. Wow, I really scrolled down there. All right, there we go. Jensen Rose. Are there any messages for me this morning, please? Jensen, I have to kind of take on the topic of let go. I feel like I need to kind of turn up the surrender and let go. So there's something that I feel like you're just kind of holding on to, that's kind of like at that not quite standing still, but at that space of not quite moving forward. And I feel like you're ready, and I just feel like I'm ready. I feel like I've got like that gate across my chest. I feel like that racehorse that's ready to go. I feel like you're ready, and what spirit is saying to me on that is let go. And it's, you know what, it's just allow, you don't have to paddle upstream all the time. You can put the oar down, and just kind of go with the flow. Spirit will often use that analogy. Even with me, when I'm navigating upstream, it's like, Lana, you're paddling the wrong way. Like, you're not going to get anywhere going up current. Put down the oar. And as soon as I put down the oar and just kind of let go and surrender, it's like, now I understand the direction I'm supposed to go in. Right. So I feel like I've got to give that to you. I hope that makes sense to you. Shelby, I postponed my wedding for emotional reasons. Okay. Kyle, I'm waiting on big news for a job opportunity. I can't help but clap. Any tips? I had to congratulate you. I had to clap for that, Kyle. Any tips on how to manifest the outcome I want? Thank you. You're very welcome, Kyle. One of my favorite topics is manifesting. So first thing, Kyle, and if this doesn't resonate with you, it's okay. Okay, but I'll share with you what has worked for me with manifesting. Number one with spirit is I always ask for my highest good. Even if I really, really want it and it doesn't happen, I want I want it for my highest good, right? For whether it be for my the learning, the abundance. I always ask that because I've learned that you know what I want might not be the best path. So that is the first thing that I do, is for my highest good. I always, always, always leave all doors open for that now. So I will practice, and I've talked about this before. Every time I open the cupboard door or the fridge door, I just simply acknowledge I'm opening all doors of opportunity. Up for great things. I bring myself to that open space, right? I often will, and then I do have a manifesting bowl. I like to have a candle in the center because I like to light and acknowledge my manifestations. And I will put in my manifestation bowl what I want. So I have a couple coins in there, I use citrine because citrine for me represents abundance. I will write a little note, whether it be, this job, I'll put it in there. Whether it be for clients, I'll put it in there, and I will light the candle, once a day, twice a day, 5 times a day if you wish. There's no right or wrong number of times, and I will just kind of sit with a heart full of gratitude for what's around me and for what's coming, and I'm going to trust the journey, and I'm going to remind myself that I'm open and I'm allowing, and I'm opening and I'm allowing, and that's kind of how I do my manifestations. I always do gratitude rituals as well. So it can be just a little walk, just being so grateful. Sometimes I'll bring out, a little bit of lettuce to the forest, and I'll just leave it there for a rabbit or for whoever, just so grateful. I try to bring in a lot of grateful when it comes to my manifestations. When it comes to my manifesting, I'm also very clear. This is what I want for my highest good, and I don't pull in doubt. And if it arrives, because we all have a brain that likes to go off into center field and say, yeah, but it'll never happen. And what I do is I just bring myself back to that trusting space. I bring myself back into, to that grounding space, and I'm willing to allow. And I just we always are always working through fear and what ifs and I want and it doesn't happen. And I just bring myself back to that trusting space when I turn left and kind of lean out, because we do lean out. I mean, sometimes I lean out, you guys. Like there are times where I have to bring myself back in from that that thought of whoop, and it's like, no, I'm gonna wobble. I'm gonna wobble, but I'm gonna come back into that trusting space. And I just constantly bring myself back there. When I first started practicing manifesting, and alignment, I swear it was like every in the beginning, I swear it was every 30 seconds. It was like you could almost set your clock to it. Back in, Lana. No, back in, Lana. But the more I practiced it and the more that I kind of allowed myself to grow, now it's very seldom. Now it's usually it's just the really big things where I'll be like, well, what if? And it's like, nope, back in. So just kind of practice that a little bit. And it does feel like a lot of work in the beginning, but I'll tell you, once you clean that up, amazing things like literally I swear I will literally fall from the sky. It's like, yeah, I was asking for that. Thank you very much. Right. So but it's because of the trust factor and cleaning up all the static, right? All that static, clean it up, Kyle. And big hugs to you, by the way. I just felt the need to hug you, Kyle. Katie Cox, I was wondering if you have any messages for me. Just leaning in there for a minute, Katie, because what Spirit showed me. I asked them to replay it because they showed it to me very, very quickly. Katie, I feel like I've got to put down distractions. It's almost like I have to do like a distraction. I'll use the word detox, but like I just need to like I'm gonna shut my phone off or mute it for like the next 30 minutes, and then increasing it to an hour. I just feel like I just have to kind of just whatever distractions are pulling you. I feel like I've got to work through some of them. I just feel like you're like it's almost like you get distracted and then you don't put the time or the spiritual energy into what you want. I feel like I have to work through a little bit of that. And the physical world's very distracting, whether it be news feeds or social media outlets, or like even like neighbors or the kids at the parks, screaming their heads off. Sometimes we just need to like break away from that. And I feel like I just got to give you that. And as I'm talking, I'm starting to get a lot of clarity. I'm starting to feel calmer. I feel like clarity. So whatever that you're asking for direction on, whatever direction that you're seeking on going, I literally had like a whole clear lens go, when you're at the eye doctor, is this clear or this clear? I had that on my face and it was like very clear. I could read the whole eye chart. So I hope that makes sense to you, Miss Katie. Freya, what are your thoughts on the idea of strings of fate? My guides have shown me different colors of strings, such as gold, red, and black. Very interesting topic there. I also feel with the strings of fate, I do feel that quite often with that is I feel it's often direction. So what I often say to, because a lot of my students bring this question up, or they will see that string, they will see the guide and the direction, because I really do believe that we have a lot of lessons to learn, and the directions that we're going to go to get them in, and the choices and free will that we make is a big part of that. So what I say to my students is, what do those colors mean to you? So I'll give you an example from I'll use me as an example because it's really easy for me to talk about it. When I see that a string of yellow, or sometimes the string will come in as a circle of yellow, for me, that is my sign that there's caution. If I'm going to go that route, I am being shown caution. So then I now have that choice and free will of, well, do I really want to follow that string? Right? Do I want to take slower steps? So whatever the color means to you, because I really do believe that there's not just one way when it comes to spirit and how spirit works and how your spirit guides work. How your spirit guides work are different than how my spirit guides work with me. So I feel like I've got to kind of tap you into that. As what does that mean for you? I kind of have to reverse it. Diane, without getting into politics, the world seems to be out of control. Any guidance as to when things will calm down? Okay, I have had this question, Diane, and I will leave politics completely out of it because I have taken this question to spirit a lot. So when you look at the world right now, and if you hit the rewind button to, let's just say, go back to World War One or two, any place you want to rewind it. Okay, so wherever you want to rewind it to, I'll let you decide on when you're going to press the stop button. When you look at what's been happening, and I said to Spirit, like, what the right? What I have asked that. My worries aren't so much with politics and that kind of thing. I've got Spirit has shown me different things that I'm a little bit more working with energetically. But when you rewind, the lessons are repeating throughout the ages and time. Different themes. Yes, we've got different technology than we did 100 years ago. Absolutely, because we have evolved, we have learned and developed and grown that way. But when you look at the repeat lessons, what's happening is we are repeating history. Nothing has really changed, has it? Like the theme has not changed, and the reason for that the theme is not changing is we here in the physical world are not learning the lessons. Okay, so and I'll even use a really recent experience. Yesterday I was called out to assess a house for energy, brand new house, literally brand new, just built. And there was a lot of stuff going on there, and it was mostly outside. So I'm walking my grid, and I've got I've got my spiritual tools that I work in, and I stopped in one space of the yard. Right, froze, like I was literally frozen in this space, and I felt the vibration of so much hate. And I won't get into all of what I felt, but there was so much hate, and I couldn't move from the spot, and my singing bowl wouldn't play. Couldn't play my singing bowl there. So when I walk a grid, I play my singing bowl, and energetically, where there's an issue, my singing bowl will stop. It would, no matter what I did with it, it would not play. And the owners of the property were stunned and watching me, and I couldn't move it. So I said to the owners, has there been a lot of stuff going on, particularly in this backyard? And the owner of the property said, yeah, we have contractors, so their equipment breaks down in that exact same place. Brand new equipment wouldn't work. So when I went deeper into the energy of it, I felt a lot of hate that was handed down from generation to generation to generation to generation from a neighbor. It just felt like such a repeat lesson. And so I asked, this lovely couple, like, is there a problem with the neighbor? And when they moved in, a neighbor literally moved out because of the culture that moved in. Not new. But this is not new. So we are not learning a collective lesson here. And until we get it, that we are here as a oneness on all those topics, we are going to continue. We are going to continue to navigate through this difficult energy. Do I feel it getting better? I do feel it shifting, and I've said this before. It's going to be our younger generation. It is going to be our younger generation, and they are bringing in a lot. And some people will roll their eyes. Oh, these kids know nothing, and I'm like, these kids came here to fix this crap. 100%. 100%. The amount of youth that are coming to me spiritually, the amount of youth that are coming to me with different perspectives. We need to kind of listen up. Listen up. What I am worried about, I am worried about the more and more with the environment. I did some channeling last night. I will try. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I'm not sure if I'm going to pre-record a video or if I'm going to come live and talk about it. But I have some very concerning things with the environment. And what I channel, they'll give you a little bit of a spoiler alert. I'm worried about infertility. But I am going to sit more with spirit, and I'll decide how I'm going to handle it. Well, I won't decide. Spirit will decide on how we're gonna handle that topic. But yeah, I feel. So when will things calm down? So Diane, I'll tackle that. We have control over that. We have control over that. I also feel, and many spiritual, teachers have talked about this before. We will rise up collectively. There will be a large group of people that will say, Yeah, we're not gonna take this. And the spirit is playing that song. Uh, and they're quite funny today, but it's going, but it's going to come in a loving way. It's not going to come with, it's not going to come with this. It's going to come in a very loving way. And I also feel, y'all. I feel it needed. I feel it needed, and there's also a lot more love and kind people right now in the world than there is on the opposite end of that. What's in front of us though is this great big loud microphone called social media saying this is what's wrong, this is what's wrong, this is what's wrong, and it's so loud. It's always been there, right? But I do feel that we are going to come in and we're going to share, we're going to help, we're going to navigate together, because that is the biggest lesson that we are sent here to learn, is to how to collectively be one. And that is what the spirit dimensions are. It's a oneness up there. There's no spirit's loosening my tongue, so I must be allowed to speak as openly as spirit is showing it to me. When we go over to the spirit dimensions, there was no this culture there and that culture there and this religion's going to hang out here. It's a blended oneness. It's a oneness. There is no separation in the spirit dimensions. We're souls, we are light. It doesn't matter. It's a oneness. And that is what we're here to try and do, is to bring that oneness. It doesn't matter. Gender doesn't matter in the spirit dimensions. I've never channeled a spirit that said, oh, this is my gender. They have a feeling, an energy to who they were when they were here, but it's never been up for red hot topic. It's a oneness. They came here and loved and learned. Yeah. So it's not complicated. We're just making it complicated. So I'm just making sure they're done ranting. That's why I pause. Is there anything else? But no, that is the simplest lesson. We are here to, and we are going to learn it. We will go into a space of, I grow tomatoes, you grew blueberries. Let's switch. We need to do that. I know how to do this. I can help you with that. We need to do that. How many of you know your neighbors? Really know your neighbors? How many of you have ever put a basket of tomatoes on your neighbor's step? How many of you have ever seen your neighbor mowing the lawn and thought, I'll stop and help? It's simple. We may do it with family, but do we do it with strangers? I want to talk about, you know what? I hope I'm not keeping you guys. It's been on a little while this morning. I want to talk about an experience that I had very, very recently. I think I mentioned it on my channel one time. So whenever I quite often go for a walk early morning. If I don't go to the gym, I go for an early walk. And I walk. It's not that far. It's a bit of a distance, and of course it's near a cemetery. We go figure. So, but at the edge of the road, is a big, big boulder, like a garden boulder. It's huge, right? Like 2 to 3 people can sit on it easily. And it's right on the edge of a cemetery. And I will walk to the boulder early morning and I'll hop on, and a gentleman of another culture walks the other way. Okay. And we sit there and we meditate together. And for, I think it's been for at least 4 or 5 years. So that we often just meet up there, and there's none of this, I'll meet you tomorrow at 5 or 6. It's just, we just kind of show up and sit there. If I see him, great, he joins me. So we sit there, and we have never spoken a word to each other. Never spoken a word, right? Which is real. It's really interesting later, why we've never spoken a word. So we sit there, we meditate. Sometimes I'll put his hand on mine. He'll put his hand, or he'll put his hand on mine. We do this collectively, and the feeling, I know we are sitting in love. We are sitting in love, and I just know we're putting it out. This is what we're doing together. I don't even know his name, right? So about a week ago, he was there first. So I hop up my rock, and I could see he was doing his thing and a little bit of chanting in his culture. And I hopped up, just kind of sat there, and I leaned on him. I don't know why, but I felt the need to lean on him. And I'm leaning there and I'm thinking, oh, this feels so good. And I went into my meditations. And at the end of the experience, I opened my eyes, and he was staring at me. And I said, thank you for sharing. And he looked at me and he went, clear as day. English was clear as could be. He went, you're welcome. And he thanked me back. I was shocked. I was the first time in a couple years we exchanged a word. And I said to him, I said, "You speak English?" And he's like, "Very well." And was it an assumption? No, I don't think it was an assumption. We sat together in an energy collectively. Didn't matter if we spoke or not. Didn't matter his background or not. Didn't matter. He brought energy to the rock. I brought energy to the rock, to very different cultures. I'll tell you, very different cultures. Probably the most different. You couldn't get any further away from each other. But collectively, we sat with respect for language, with respect for culture. We sat collectively. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. My walk home, I was like, he spoke English the whole time. I'm talking like, I've been in this house, 6 years, so at least 5 years. We've been kind of running into each other at the meditation rock on the edge of the cemetery. Interesting, right? So when you see, we have a natural separation from people. Their culture is different, their language is different, whatever it is, and we're not connecting. I could rant on that with spirit. Well, it's not really me; it's them. It's the oneness that we are being asked to see. It's that simple. Okay, let's move on. Um, take a few more. I do have to get going soon. Um, Good morning. I'm so glad that I found your channel. Your approach to contact with the other side is incredible and so thoughtful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for seeing me, and for joining us here. I bring spirit in with how they are. That's how spirit feels to me. Let's see where we go. Hannah Jackson. My energy has been off recently, kind of like a weird darkness. Is there anything that you can tell me about it? Hannah, I feel I feel like a version of you is just being asked to be seen. So I feel like there's, and just kind of sit back through your memory bank and look at different versions of yourself. Is there a version of you that you've kind of suppressed, either with, not proud of that version of me, or I feel like that's how it feels to me. And I feel like I've just got to acknowledge that with some love and light. You learned some lessons. You did the best that you could. You navigated through something that, from whatever space you were in, whatever knowledge you held, you were there. And I feel like you've just got that shadow piece, that darker space is just saying, can you send me some love now? I feel like I need to kind of leave that with you. I also have to talk very quickly, and I'll check the comments in a minute or two. But does anybody have a father figure? So someone that was a dad, like a dad, or a grandfather you were very close to, that passed away with a brain tumor or a brain aneurysm. I'm really aware of like a cancer or a brain tumor in my head. And he's kind of poking me to be acknowledged. The month of April, or the number 4, is very significant there, as well as October, and the name Jim or James connects as well. Living. Yes, living. I'm going to leave him here for a second because he's just frantically waving, but I can really feel that brain issue. Let me just see where I go. Mandy Greenhill, thank you so much. I feel like I'm repeating continuously. So maybe some use of my own words to my clients to release and burn it out. Love and light to you too, Mandy. I'm just going to read some of the messages here. Strange question for you. I feel like I'm losing my hair. Is it stress, diet, or genetic? Does spirit have some advice? I just need to sip on that. So, Lisa, I feel, number one, I know you know this. You've been on my channel for a while and you've taken some of my workshops. So I know you know this, but I do have to say it. If you feel it's anything medical, please be assessed. Okay. Number one. Number two, when I lean in there, I feel very tense. I feel very tense, and I feel part of that stress. Your physical body is responding to it. I don't know if your shoulders or your neck has been sore, but I'm feeling like I just feel like I have to cringe when I try to move my back. I don't know what that's all about, but I feel like you're holding too much. We were not meant to hold on to stress. We were meant to navigate and cope through it. I've got to kind of get you into some kind of releasing ritual. So whatever resonates with you, whether it be down by the water or watching the clouds float by, or laying face down on the earth and just kind of letting all that seep out away from you. I feel like you're holding on. I really do. The other thing is I'm really aware of my sinuses. So have you been having any sinus stuff or any pressure here? I'm really aware, or have you been stuffy? I'm really aware of here. I mean, I feel like it's like a hold on. I just feel like it's a hold on. The other thing is what's really interesting is spirits being incredible today. They always are, but today it's just like really interesting. I feel like I'm bouncing a ball. So you know when you bounce a ball, it goes down, it comes up, it comes down, it comes up. I feel like whatever you're pushing down is coming back up at you. That's how I feel. So is there a situation that's happening around you it feels like it's a bouncing ball that goes down and comes back up? It goes down. I feel like that I'm bouncing something around, up and down, up and down. I'll leave that with you, miss, and hopefully that makes sense. Let me just scroll down and get some validation here. I will do another one of these chit chats. It's fun just to kind of let it be fluid and just kind of chit chat, isn't it? I know there's a lot of questions that I still haven't gotten to, but I do have to move on with my day. I'm doing a little bit of animal communication today, so I can't leave them waiting for me. Salome's got some advice there for you. For your hair, a mix of mustard oil, rich oil, once a week on the roots of your hair does wonders. Oh, good. Thank you very much for sharing that. I'm just looking for. Okay, I'm just gonna take a moment and discuss this father figure with a brain tumor or brain aneurysm. Okay, so I'm just trying to find where somebody first acknowledges it. No, not living. Diane Quinn, my husband is James. My father-in-law passed away in December 2020 from a brain aneurysm. Okay, but there's a Jim or a James name living that connects to this family because he's pointing here. Forgot to add his name isn't James, just some strange situations. I hope this gent, maybe a relative, Diane. It's pointing here. He keeps pointing here. Okay, I'm just going to scroll back up. So if I don't connect, if this makes sense to you, if that makes sense to you, what his message is, and I'm just going to speak the message, and then if it resonates with you, great. If not, I may have to do another live on Facebook or on YouTube to see where he connects. I feel like there's a big transition coming with family living. I also feel, I'm going to see if I can get a little bit more about him. I don't feel like he's been gone very long. I'm going to say less than a year is kind of what he's shown me. I don't feel like I've been gone very long. I also feel like with either this brain cancer or this aneurysm, I feel it very quickly. So if it was a brain tumor, I feel like it was like diagnosis passed. Right. I don't feel there was a gap there. I feel like there was very, very, very a lot of shifting around with family and a lot of moving, a lot of change. And I feel like his passing was one more thing that people just couldn't cope with all the stuff that's going on. So I feel like there's so much going on in the family. And what he's doing is he's putting everybody together in a line. He's just lining everybody up with, you're all going to be okay. You're all going to be okay. I also feel like there's all this financial stuff. Like there seems to be a lot of heavy stuff that the family is navigating through. You're all going to be okay. And it, it's coming around a little bit full circle with help each other when you can. Right? Just help each other when you can. I also feel something very significant with the month of November. He puts me in November as being a very significant month as well. The Jim or the James name is 100% living. He won't stop with the pointing here. I've asked him 4 times, is it you? And he's like, no, living. So that's going to be a key piece to all this. Perhaps it'll connect with somebody. Oh, Diane, my husband is here. Okay. Diane, can you just connect with me just one more time? Sorry, just to save me from scrolling up. This is your father-in-law that's passed with the brain tumor or the aneurysm. I'll see if I can go up quickly here. I've always wanted a world that everyone is happy in. Diane, I'm just scrolling up quick to see if I can find what she said. My mother-in-law's birthday is November. Okay. So Diane, is this father-in-law to you then that's passed? And does everything else that I say make sense? Dan, I'm sorry, I didn't catch where you said that your husband infection. Okay. It's 100% brain related. So 100. So if the infection is brain related, like I just it has. It's my head is just pounding. Everything makes sense. Okay, Diane, thank you very much for your validation. Sometimes when I'm channeling like this on a live feed and I have to scroll up and get information, you guys know me well enough. My integrity is first, right? I will never make anything fit. My integrity is first, which is why I always need that validation. Celebrate of his life is today. Wow. I love that. That's incredible. I love it. Diane, he's a force. He was a force when he was here, and he's a force from the spirit dimensions. He'll be very much there. Know how loved everyone is. And Diane, is there somebody that either has a speech impediment or a stroke? I'm really aware of my speech all of a sudden. I've got to acknowledge that. Somebody having trouble with speech. I'll give you a second to answer that. I'm so glad it all makes sense, because he was really pushing me. Really pushing me, and it's funny because now my head is completely fine. So I'll let you answer that, Diane. I'll give you another minute. Not that I know of. Okay. What about that's past, Diane? Is there anybody that's passed with a stroke or who had speech issues? I really feel pushed there. He's given me so much not to trust it, but I really feel speech as something. He will definitely be attending. I think there might be a little bit of humor at the celebration of life. He'll definitely be attending, and he's sending love to all. I do hope you enjoyed your time with me. Big thumbs up if you enjoyed hanging out with me here on this Canada Day Saturday morning. It was great. I thought Spirit was amazing as always today. I love having you here. It's great to come together collectively. Bianca, I tried channeling for a true case one day with my cards and my head hurt and I smelled bleach. I didn't like it. Props to you, Lana, for channeling. I'm going to address that, Bianca. So when I channel, I'm very clear with spirit and my boundaries. So they are allowed to give me something, mainly for the validation, but I ask them to take it. So I won't keep it. As soon as it's acknowledged, I'll take it. I will ask them, and you can take this advice too, Bianca, is if you find it too much, ask spirit to turn it down. So, and I will say that to them. Okay, I get the message. I'm feeling my head. So, because remember, spirit is also learning how we're working and how we're picking it up too. So, because it used to be spirit used to be extremely loud with me. Like, I mean, like I was like, are you talking into like one of those big microphones? And I just found the volume. And it took me a bit to find the volume, because then it went really quiet. It was like I couldn't hardly hear them. And it's like, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. So I had to fine tune where my channeling button is. So what happened with this spirit is, I'll be honest. Well, I don't want to use the word ignored, but I put him off a little bit. So I was talking about something else, and I was just like, "Can you give me a second? Can you give me a second? Can you give me a second?" And he's spirit's reluctant. He really wanted to talk to Diane today. So when that happens, it's like, I'm going to acknowledge it now. I'm going to acknowledge my head. This is how we pass. Can somebody take it? And it's because of the validation. So Bianca, you're getting validation. It's the same thing when I do any kind of remote viewing, or when I'm sitting with any cases or with clients. Just simply say to spirit, I hear you. And they will wait for the validation. It's because it's so important with mediumship or with remote viewing that you're getting something that you understand. Spirit's trying to figure out what level you're at there. Like, where's the happy medium for everybody? As soon as it's acknowledged, it's gone, taken, right? And I'll say to them, okay, got it, take it. I've also learned through practicing my mediumship for a very long time how to not use my energy. I'm plugged into theirs. I use very, very little, if any, of my energy. So there you go. There's a little bit of 101 for you, Bianca. Yes, I've been open to feeling things physically, but it's new. I'm not used to it. Yeah. Just it will take you some time, and you will learn where your volume is, Bianca. You will, and spirit will learn too. Remember, this is a partnership, right? It's a working relationship. I have a working relationship with them. We've got work guidelines. They've got to tell me, or I'm not saying. If spirit just said to me, let me give you a good example here. I'll just pick on you, Bianca. If spirit said, I'm just creating a story. Okay. So if spirit said to me, I'm here for Bianca and I've got nothing else. I love you, Bianca. Right. No, it's got to be validating. That's how it works with me, or I'm not going to channel, because it's an integrity piece, and spirit's very open and willing to give it to me. But I've got to learn how things feel, and as I learn, spirit will change it. It's like next grade, right? So Bianca, you're going to the next grade. You're going to the next level. They're going to give you more, and as you navigate through that more, you will learn how to navigate it, right? You will learn. For me, it's like the biggest thing for me was I didn't want to remember it. So that's a big thing for me. Take it. Take it. If I was to let's say Diane emailed me in 10 minutes, I won't remember what I said to her. Spirit was not mine. Spirit will take it. So I would either have to watch the feed, or I would answer Diane back and say, what did I say? Like, what, I won't remember the message. It's not mine to remember. And that's a boundary that I wanted. Spirit, I don't want to remember this. Anyway, happy Canada Day long weekend. Happy 4th of July long weekend, wherever you are in the world. Happy weekend. Enjoy. Spend some time relaxing. Spend some time honoring yourself. Honor the earth. Breathe. And as always, love, light, blessings, and a spirit guided day. Thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. Take care.